Hey, it's Dr. Biff PD here. Thank you for listening in. For those who don't know, I'm Andrew Dean. I'm a consultant geriatrician. I have had Parkinson's disease diagnosed for the last 2 years, but I've probably lived with it for longer than that. And I wanted to talk to you about my first symptom that I had, and that is lack of sense of smell. Now, just a caveat, if you have no sense of smell but don't have Parkinson's disease, please do not assume that that means you're going to get Parkinson's disease in the near future. It's still very, very rare amongst people with lack of sense of smell to develop Parkinson's disease. But for me, my first symptom on my journey of Parkinson's disease started with anosmia, lack of sense of smell. I can definitely pinpoint at the end of 2014, so now 5 years ago. Since that time, I've had absolutely no sense of smell at all. This was first noted at work, which as a doctor I do work along quite significant smells, things like diarrhea, things like bowel motions that can determine whether people have been bleeding from the stomach, something called melena, vomit, urine, dead bowel, dead feet, all sorts of different smells, and I smell none of that. Even down to things like people who are clearly very, very drunk and smell drunk, I can't smell that at all. Things like the gas, I can't smell. So there's a lot of different aspects of life without a sense of smell that can have significant impact, but it's all fairly innocuous. It's not as significant as being blind or deaf in terms of my sensory perception and my ability to work, although clearly it has affected my work. One of the other aspects that this lack of sense of smell impacts on is my sense of taste, which has been significantly affected, which means my palate has changed. But for those who want to have a more scientific breakdown of taste, there are other videos on this, but essentially if you lose your sense of smell, you basically limited to 5 main senses. One is sweet, sour, salt, bitterness, and then something called umami, which is a sort of savoury taste that people report. I think another YouTube blogger has also noted that they would put sort of chili in there as well, and I think that's probably correct, because certainly significant chili content in food means I can taste that. But sometimes if there's a food that only contains chili, I can taste it. It's just an overwhelming sense of chili, and it can be at the detriment of that food. Clearly, if you don't have a significant sense of taste, you can lose a lot of enjoyment. So a lot of my friends and family really enjoy their food and enjoy the subtleties of the different spices, and it just completely goes over my head. And so I've often ended up being texture-based rather than taste-based. It also impacts on other things like, can I tell that milk has gone off? No, I can't. There could be something rotting in my house and I wouldn't know unless I saw it or stood on it. So that's the one thing, would be taste. The other thing I think is mood. Certainly it can be quite depressing not being able to smell things. You feel a bit left out of pleasurable smells. You also are left out from not pleasurable smells. But also I think things that I really used to enjoy, things like sensing the smell of freshly mown grass, I've always loved that smell, and I will never smell that again on earth. So there are a lot of other things like sort of perfumes and smells of people and places, and sometimes you get that sort of smell, oh, that food reminds me of my childhood food that I had. I just don't have that. And some people even have memories attached to smells, or smell improves their memory, and I don't have that follow through from one smell to the memory of that smell in my childhood. My family would tell you that my memory of my childhood is very, very poor anyway, but I think it is an important aspect. When people think, oh, you lost a sense of smell, it's not just the sense of smell, it's everything that goes along with it, the emotional and the memories attached to smells. I think it's been a bit difficult for people cooking for me. When I say I have no sense of smell, they say, well, how is that going to affect the cooking? It just means that the texture is what I look at more than a lot of other aspects to it. If a food is very strong, either very, very sweet or very, very salty, I can taste that. That doesn't necessarily mean it's pleasurable. So, for example, if somebody was making something very, very bitter, yes, I could taste that, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'd enjoy it. Texture-wise is much more what I enjoy. I enjoy the different textures, like hard and soft and squishy, and lots of different textures of food is really, very nice. But I can also detect subtle flavours that I didn't think I would be able to do. But you know, I can pick out this taste of lemon, even if it's not very strong. But that's the only taste I get would be the bitterness of the lemon. Therefore, that's okay. But my palate has changed, so I do like things that are stronger flavoured now than I used to. Things like olives and chilies and very flavourful foods I used to not enjoy, and now I really enjoy them. So if you've got Parkinson's disease and you don't have sense of smell, is my experience common to you? If you have Parkinson's disease and have had no problem with sense of smell, that's good. I'm pleased for you, and it would be interesting if you later did lose your sense of smell, whether that's another aspect of your Parkinson's disease. If you, as I said before, if you've got no sense of smell and you don't have Parkinson's disease, there are so many causes of loss of sense of smell. Parkinson's is just one of them. So please don't jump to the conclusion that you've got Parkinson's disease in the offing, but it does tend to predate the motor symptoms of the stiffness and the rigidity by a few years. So hopefully you found that video helpful and interesting to listen to. It's more my experience of this rather than a scientific talk. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'll be hoping to post more videos soon, but I'm not sure when. So please put your questions down below. Thanks very much.